Hello and welcome to Motive Racing then, here for the Touring Car Championship Round 4 at Oschersleben A course. I hope I haven't murdered that pronunciation. I hope I'm right. I'm your host Matthew Duffin and I'll be taking you through tonight's action here. Night time in the free practice session at the moment then. We are just a 10-minute free practice, bit of a warm-up for the guys as they head around. So let's just take you through who we've got with us so far. We've got Emo Guy at 97. We've got Charlie Goff 123. Andy CWFC is with us, regular commentator and your league owner here at Motive. Fury CBK, he's with us as well, regular. Xmart, Avu Alfonso, Lodder is with us. John Boy, DJ Phil Green, a regular here at Motive Racing. Smoky Devil again, always on the touring car grid. Spliff Masters with us as well. Unorthodox. Good to see Unorthodox here against Knight. Amazing Pie Boy is with us as well, and the only G on the grid as well. So a very good evening to everybody and welcome along to tonight's race. Hope everybody's well, hope everybody's keeping safe and doing alright in lockdown, for those who are having to stay home and suffer the consequences of the lockdown. For those who aren't and are still at work, nice to see you here on this Sunday evening. Nice to just chill out in front of the telly. Nothing else on telly tonight at 8 o'clock, so why not just sit and chill and come over to Motive Racing and check out the action here at Oschersleben A course. And got a cracking drive in store, cracking race should I say, in store for you guys tonight. Absolute brilliant drivers on this grid and such good battles we should see up and down on what is a fantastic little course here. Very tricky in places, but at the same time very rewarding when you get it right, very fulfilling as well. I'm just going to run you through the current standings in the Touring Car Cup, and it is currently the man on screen, Emo Guy, who is leading the way, 12 points ahead of Gary 131, who cannot be with us tonight after a knee operation last Tuesday has kind of put him out of action at the moment, hence why he wasn't in the Clios and hence why he's not here tonight. He does send his sincerest apologies. He has had an invite. If he does come on, he will be on the pad, so we look forward to seeing if Gary is with us. Unfortunately not, so AMO Guy leads 12 points from Gary. Gary then 14 points ahead of John Boy. We see in the standings 8th place currently in this practice session so far, but 3rd in the championship standings. Andy then, after a week where he wasn't able to participate, he's just behind John Boy on track actually. Oh, just in front of John Boy, should I say. He currently sits in P4. Xmart then is P5 in the championship, 63 points off the lead. Fury, he's not doing too great at the moment and is currently sat behind Xmart in the championship. Avu Alfonso is then next up, who's currently sat P8 in the standing on track at the moment. Smoky Devil then comes behind Avu Alfonso, sat P3 on the practice session at the moment. And then there is Unorthodox just behind Smoky Devil, who's currently the quickest man out there so far. Spliff Master then comes behind Unorthodox, and I do apologise for this. This is the mother-in-law contacting us. Spliff Master currently sits there just behind him with Charlie Goff down on 53 points. Lodder is on 44 points. Now I haven't seen Lodder in the session at the moment, so I don't think he's with us tonight. We've then got DJ Phil Green, and Gary 131 has joined us, so it is nice to see Gary here. Gary, welcome back. Best of luck on the pad tonight, buddy. And for those, Gary's not really raced on the pad much in his life, so I don't think we're going to see the best Gary 131 tonight, put it out with. DJ Phil Green then on 44 points. An Amazing Pie Boy made his debut last week, is on 20 points. We haven't actually seen G score points in this one as of yet. So Ebo Guy then, he's had an up and down sort of start to his season at the moment. Currently sits 3.6 seconds off the back of Unorthodox as he's coming around to finish another lap, but he's taking a 5th and 4th at Donington Park, back-to-back wins at Alton Park, and then back at 2 4th places at Monza. Then what can he get at Oschersleben here? Who took the wins last week? Just looking at it, Andy took the feature race and Unorthodox took the sprint race. Them two could be two to watch tonight as well, as Smoky Devil just goes into P2 and then ends up missing turn 1 and having to cut it then. Unorthodox currently 3.1 ahead of Smoky Devil with Emo Guy P3. Xmark down in 4th place, 5.6 off the pace at the moment. And there is Gary 131 back in, as Charlie Goff's just improved his time and gone a bit quicker. DJ Phil's currently 13 seconds off of the pace. And he's not actually set a lap time yet and crosses the line and still doesn't set a lap time neither then. Fury, he's coming to the back end of his lap. Can he set a lap time here as well? Round he comes now, and he's going to come down the start finish straight, cross the line here. And no lap time for Fury there. Avo Alfonso's on a lap, as is John Boy and Spliff Master as well. Gary is also out on track. Where is he? He's just coming out the pit lane now. Look, there he is in his BMW, coming out the pits. So good evening to Gary. I do believe the only BMW driver on the grid at the moment then. So interesting to see. Here's an Orthodubs then. He's about to come around the final corner now, and he's going to start another lap. And does he improve on his time this time around? 3 minutes 18 left of this practice session. So let's see what Unorthodox can do here as he crosses the line and doesn't improve that time around. Lodder is in the session and has gone P2. Emo Guy, does he improve this time around? Nope, cannot improve there. Xmark then, he's coming up to the final part of the track as well. What is he going to do from here? Are we going to see any improvements from Xmark then? Currently P5, 5.6 off the pace at the moment. But are we going to see any improvement whatsoever here? Crosses the line. Nope, no improvement there for Xmark. Charlie Goff, he's coming down the final corner and out and around he goes now. He's about to cross the start line. 6.1 off, couple of tenths to go above Xmark. Finds 2.2 seconds. That's even better. Goes above Xmark and John Boy into P5. Now don't forget, this isn't qualifying. This is purely just a practice session here. Spliff Master goes up into second place, so good lap time from him. Amazing Pie Boy then takes second place away from him, so an even better lap there. What about Fury? Andy's about to cross the line. No lap time from Andy. What about Fury then? That's Gary just behind, starting a lap. And crosses the line now and gets a lap time on there of 12th place at the moment. So welcome everybody in the stream. 9 people watching at the moment. Go ahead and hit that like button. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. Let's help Motive get as many subscriptions as they can. If you'd like to participate in anything Motive Racing have to offer and you fancy your chances at the touring cars, or maybe the Clios, the LMP2s, the GT3s, GTs, or maybe even the GT3s on Assetto Corsa, why don't you head over to www.motiveracing.com and find out more information there, or go to the Facebook page at Motive Racing League, or head over to their Discord channel and see what they have to offer. See if anything tickles your fancy and see what they have to offer. They're just on board with Fury at the moment, P12 so far. Xmark has gone up into P2, so a good lap time from him. Basic Pie Boy just coming into the last corner now. Is he going to improve any here then, as we have 56 seconds remaining? A bit of lag there from Amazing Pie Boy. Andy has a lap time invalid, so that's not good for him. Where's Emo Guy? Amazing Pie Boy back up in second place. Where's Emo Guy? Struggling for a bit of pace out there now, 3.6 off the lead. Gary 131's coming to the back end of his lap, so let's see what Gary 131 can do. The only BMW on the grid, him and Andy the only two who's not set a lap time so far, so will they manage to get a lap time on the board here tonight? And Gary does not. What about Andy? Andy just starting another lap and hasn't got a lap time on the board neither then, so no lap times from Andy and Gary so far, but they'll have one more shot at the dice to get it in. And for Orthodubs then, he may get another shot at one final lap here as he comes down the start straight at 34.1. he's set, he's not beat that so far and doesn't go any faster, in fact puts it in the pit lane. Amazing Pie Boy of Alfonso crosses the line, he can't improve. Xmart, he's about to cross the line, no he's not, he's coming to the final corner. Here he comes now, around the final corner, down the straight, decent straight here, good long start straight, but a decent straight in terms of the start line. Doesn't come up too fast. Xmark can't improve. Emo Guy has finished. Here comes Lodder then. There is Amazing Pie Boy. Oh, Amazing Pie Boy is just spanning in front of Lodder there. John Boy's gone up into P2, so takes P2 away from Lodder. Just 34 thousandths of a second slower than Unorthodox. So a good lap time that is from John Boy then. Like I say, this isn't qualifying. Merely just a practice session here so far. It's good to be back this week after being absent last week from the commentary box, and it's nice to be back. Nice to be back in the commentary booth. I know I was here Tuesday night with Emo Guy, Andy and Unorthodox for the Clio Cup, but it's nice to be back on the Touring Car channel as Lodder doesn't improve there. Smoky Devil is still on a lap. So let's see what Smoky Devil could do as Gary crosses the line and doesn't put a lap time in. Smoky Devil crosses the line to finish the practice session. So Unorthodox quickest in practice, only just by 34 thousandths of a second. We'll be right back with the race. Okay, so as we are formed up on the grid, it is going to be a one-lap rolling start to get into formation, and I will go through the grid order for you now. So Amazing Pie Boy will start on pole position from DJ Phil Green. And then after DJ Phil Green, we will have Lodder. And so there is the Amazing Pie Boy going on to the pole. DJ Phil Green should line up then P2. With then Lodder sat in third. Charlie Goff is P4 with Spliffmaster in 5th place. Unorthodox, oh no, Charlie Goff has just dropped back to P5 a second, so Avu needs to drop back as Charlie Goff needs to come through. Avu Alfonso should be down in P8 in all fairness, so Charlie Goff should be lining up in P4, which he has now. After Charlie Goff should be Spliffmaster, currently sat in P6, so just needs to make up one more place here and get on the back of Charlie Goff, as Avu Alfonso has gone back in front of Charlie Goff again here. So Avu Alfonso, if you're listening, mate, you just need to drop back a few places, please, buddy. So Lodder third, Charlie Goff should be fourth, he is now. Spliff Master then should go into fifth place, he is in fifth. After Spliff Master we should have Unorthodox behind him. Still got Avu in the way. In fact, Avo Alfonso has again gone back up into P4. So Avo Alfonso, if you are listening, mate, you just need to back out the way. You're not meant to be starting there. You're meant to be starting in P8. So we just need you to back out the way, please, Alfonso. Charlie Goff back up into 4th, Spliffmaster 5th. Unorthodox now should go up into P6, and he does. Smoky Devil should then P7, Alvo Alfonso P8, Fury in P9, Xmark 10th, Andy 11th, John Boy in 12th, Gary 13th, Emo Guy 14th, and the Only G last and 15th then. So Amazing Pie Boy will take us away here, and he will be the one who's got a lot of work to do. What can Amazing Pie Boy do from here? As we're coming up towards the final corner now. And around we come. So when does Amazing Pie Boy choose to go? I mean, he's got until the line, and I think he's going to wait until the line. And we're away here now then, and it's a decent start and a decent getaway from Amazing Pie Boy. He's not really, he's kind of caught DJ Phil napping a little bit there. Lodder's already under attack from Unorthodox, who's going to look to send one up the inside into turn 1. And who's that running a bit deep on the brakes in the wet conditions here? Amazing Pie Boy still leads. Lodder is second after rejoining, so he was one of the guys who went deep on the brakes. Unorthodox gets second place from him. Fury up into P4, so a good start for Fury then. Avo Alfonso's gone from 8th to 5th. So he's gained a few places at the start as well, and he's all over the back of Fury, you see here. Great driving from him. Smoky Devil currently sits in 6th place with Andy hot on his heels at the moment then. So we have 16.5 minutes remaining here, and Andy looking good for his money. Xmark currently in P8. The rain really pouring down, and look who he's got with him. Gary 131 in the BMW, one of only 2 BMWs, him and the Only G in the 2 BMWs tonight then, and he's right all up the chuff of Xmark then, but a bit of a twitch in that BMW. Emo Guy P10, he'll want to try and get ahead of Gary 131, that's for sure. I'm sure he's going to keep the pressure on Gary all night long at the moment. Charlie Goff is down to P12, so not the start Charlie Goff would have hoped for, or Spliffmaster down in P12, P11 for Charlie Goff, apologies. John Boy's 13th, hasn't really made progression, neither's the Only G, and it's DJ Phil Green who's currently sat 15th place at the moment and has had a dreadful lap 1, went off at turn 1, went very deep at turn 1, and he's currently 15th. Oh, and he's off the track again here. Wet conditions here at Oschersleben A course, and DJ Phil really starting to struggle, but it's Unorthodox a second ahead of Amazing Pie Boy, who is really giving it some and trying to keep that gap just over a second at the moment as they come over to start the second lap of the race. And can Unorthodox make inroads to the Amazing Pie Boy? Lodder has got a bit of traffic behind him. He's got Andy for company in P4. Let's go on board Andy in terms of the roof cam and see what Andy's doing at the moment into turn 1. Very quick to turn 2, and this corner just feels like it never ever ends here. You've got to be so patient on the throttle, especially in these wet conditions. Now you can get that power down as you head down a short straight. You're coming up towards turn 3. It's another corner that sort of comes back on itself, the left-hander this time. And again, another one you've got to be patient on. You see there, Lodder just a bit wide and tries to tuck up the inside, but Andy's already there. Oh, in fact, Lodder's now all sideways then, and Andy goes through, and as will Avu Alfonso, who's past Andy then. Smoky Devil's now past Andy. Gary's also past Andy. Gary having a cracking start to this race, up into P5 already after the first lap, and he's got Andy who just pushes him slightly wide there, and Gary doing well at the moment. P6 now. Spliffmaster down into 7th place. Emo Guy is 8th. With John Boy hot on his heels. Jamie Brazier, evening to you in the chat, buddy. Matt, are you happy how the BTCC went? I don't want to talk about the BTCC, mate. We'll talk about it next season when it's back on the telly. I'm not happy with how that one went down, but either way, John Boy then really hassling the back of Spliffmaster here. Really wants that P7. We've also got Tyler House on Facebook watching. Not a fan of the Megans in Touring Car Leagues. So overpowered. It ends up like a one-make series. I disagree. Lion Fernie, it's like second gear in the Megane is dreadful. Fair enough, Lion Fernie. Not a fan of the McGann. Fair play. John Boy, though, trying to go around the outside of Spliffmaster, but he has got Exmart hot on his heels as well. It's hard to attack here. Gary must have lost a couple of places. He's down into P10. So Gary not having the best of starts to this race, but here comes John Boy having a look on the outside of Spliffmaster, but look at Gary as well. Up the inside of Exmart there. Is it for a position? I don't think he's got that done. No, yeah, he has got that done over Exmart. Sorry, he stays. He's gone up to P9 now. Spliffmaster did lose out to John Boy as well. Good battle here at the back of the track. Gap out front down to 0.3 of a second here between Unorthodox and Amazing Pie Boy. So I wonder what Amazing Pie Boy can do to defend Unorthodox here. Doing a good job so far, Amazing Pie Boy. Lapping, you know, 0.8 slower than Unorthodox last time, fair play. But he's lapping quicker than anybody else out there on track at the moment. So the Amazing Pie Boy doing a fantastic job at the moment. Avo Alfonso, P3, but 6 seconds back at the minute. Not going the way he would have liked so far. What does Unorthodox do, though, to sort of unhassle the back of the Amazing Pie Boy? We shall see. Smoky Devil is being hunted down by Emo Guy. By Emo Guy. And let's see if Emo Guy can pressure him. In fact, look at Andy here. Look at the run that Andy's just had there. This is on board Andy's roof cam. In fact, John Boy just behind. Look at this. Great little battle here. Great gaggle of cars. You've got Gary not too far off the back of it. But John Boy then tries to get the undercut on Andy coming through the final corner and does so. And John Boy has already gone side by side with Andy now. If Andy can keep his nose in there, he'll have the inside line for the left-hander at turn 1. But he'll quickly turn into a right-hander. Doing absolute bits so far. These guys really battling. We've missed the move for the lead as Unorthodox does lead now by 1.5 seconds from Amazing Pie Boy. So not sure what happened there, but John Boy's got Gary and Fury all over the back of him, but just in front he's got Emo Guy and Smoky Devil and Andy. So this battle from 4th down to 9th really hotting up now as Emo Guy has passed Smoky Devil. In fact, Smoky Devil has lost out massively there, been on the outside, and look at Gary having a look up the inside, or he was. Fury's also going to go around and pass Smoky Devil. Smoky Devil onto the grass and wide, and Andy's also wide. Rejoins now just ahead of Gary 131. Here's the roof cam of Gary. There is Emo Guy, John Boy and Andy. Gary doing a top job so far on the pad, really proving to people that he can race on the pad. And I hope there's someone watching on the pad for maybe a Thursday night over at Simplay Motorsport, because Gary is gunning for a title in that one, and that'll be an interesting battle down to the end. What is Andy going to do here then? He's got John Boy just in front of him and he's got Emo Guy just ahead of that, but what can he do? Keegan's told me to stop promoting myself. I wasn't promoting myself there, I was just promoting Gary's championship chances, Keeks. Let's talk about Emo Guy, currently leading this championship then. He's a man who will not want to let up the pressure. Amazing Pie Boy's got back within 1 second of Unorthodox. You see the little warning sign next to their name? That means that they are within a second of the car in front. What can Emo Guy do? He's defending from John Boy, but he's got to catch Avo Alfonso here. Currently P3 having a bit of a quiet race. Emo Guy though has John Boy hot on his heels, and look at this train of cars. Andy, Gary, Fury, Smoky Devil, the only G. Gary and the only G in the yellow Pirelli liveried BMW here. A fantastic looking at BMW, I must say. Look at this gaggle of cars. Absolute great touring car racing this. It's a shame we didn't get touring car racing like this at Brands Hatch today, and the championship went a different way, but oh well. Emo Guy's round wide on the exit to the corner, and John Boy, I think, has managed to squeeze through. I tell you who's got through the both of them though. Andy through the middle makes it his own. Gary's now up the inside of John Boy here and has that place done, but John Boy's going to try and tuck underneath Gary to get him back here, and they just touch doors as on the exit to the corner, and here they go then down towards left-hander. Gary's let John Boy go on the brakes, but as John Boy outbrakes himself, he gets that rear roll sliding out, but manages to control it well. Great stuff. Gary, a bit of a twitch from him. Look at Fury behind. Andy's wide, and look at that Emo Guy up the inside. John Boy on the inside, and Gary's lost the rear end of the BMW. Was there a tap from Fury? I'm not sure, but Gary loses the BMW and then he's got clattered by, who is that? Is that the only G and Gary? I think Xmart, G, Gary have all got caught up in that. G and Gary ended up off the road at one stage. But Gary now on the back of Xmots was lost out to the guys in front. Spliff Master is now ahead of Lodder, Smoky Devil, Fury, Xmart, Gary 131 and Charlie Goff. Big gaggle of cars. And then you're up front, just in front of Smoky Devil by 6 seconds. You've got Emo Guy, Andy, John Boy, all battling for 4th place. This is fantastic driving from these three. Absolutely brilliant to see here. If you like what you see so far, folks, there's 15 people watching. Let's give this video a massive thumbs up. Please do. As it is top racing here at Motive Racing then today. We've seen some cracking stuff already in race 1. 8.5 minutes remain, and I tell you what, Unorthodox leads the way by 3 seconds, so it is going his way at the minute. Amazing Pie Boy doing an amazing job. Wonder if he's a chicken and mushroom, a steak and ale pie kind of man. Clearly not a pasty man, he's a pie boy, he is. Avo Alfonso, the Spaniard, doing good job. P3, not really gaining on Amazing Pie Boy. He gained a bit last lap, to be fair, and he's doing a good job of keep fending off Andy. And look at John Boy and Emo Guy side by side as they come through what is turn 3. Down towards 4 and 5. There you go. It's like a double left-hander kind of here. It kind of rolls into one, but doesn't really. It's sort of all one corner, but you've got to really kind of just turn it twice. There is 2 apexes of the corner. And then it's straight after that second left into the right. And look at John Boy there. He's got a cracking move done up the inside of Andy. And Andy's having a few problems on that corner tonight. Just keeps running slightly wide as he goes along there, Andy. Every time Andy's got down to that part of the track, he's just ran slightly wide. And I wonder if that's somewhere where Andy's being caught. Headset there. We're back live though. Lodder and Xmart battling out on track, so I wonder what's happened to Lodder. He's got a lot of damage on that Renault Megane, and he's got a lot of work to fix it. Gary sat P12 at the moment on the back of this little battle. He has Smoky Devil behind him. He's been battling with him most of this race and still hasn't got the move done yet. But what can Gary 131 do from this position? He's driving a good race to say he's on the pad. I've never really seen him race on the pad before, so he's doing a stellar job at the minute. Back to battle for 4th though, John Boy, Andy and Emo Guy. Emo Guy is slowly dropping off this pack between John Boy and Andy. And John Boy and Andy being allowed to just get away here. Are they going to try and reel Avo Alfonso in with 6.5 minutes remaining? 1 minute 40 a lap. So we're looking at just 3 or 4 more laps, I reckon, here. As the rain just slows down a bit here at Oschersleben A course. And Andy's gone very, very wide there. And will that give Emo Guy the run, I wonder? He's got closer to Andy, but he's not got the run he was expecting, I don't think. He's now not got through. Evening to Bethany and Duffin. She's here. I wonder why she's here. Gary's on track, isn't he? Interesting. Emo Guy then on the back of Andy. Championship leader against championship rivals John Boy and Andy. And Andy's very wide and he loses the rear. And he's done very well to save that one. But ends up going deep in the same corner he lost out to John Boy last lap. And he's trying to fight it around the outside of Emo Guy here. And I tell you what, he's done a stellar job so far. But now we're into the chicane. Right, left, right. And Emo Guy backs out of that one. Andy gets the job done. But Emo Guy keeps crawling all over the back of him. On board with Emo Guy here. Let's just jump into the cockpit view of Emo Guy. Stellar job. Look, the spray is horrific at the moment. You can clearly see the back of that red and blue Renault Megane. Is he going to do him on the brakes? A sooty send-it manoeuvre? No, doesn't think about it this time round. They're losing out though to John Boy up front. Back to 10th place. Gary just about to make a move on Lodder, and he's going to... Guy couldn't get it done on Andy then. And I'm not quite sure what that was there. Apologies. Screen just went all blue on me then. I do apologise. I'm not quite sure what that was there. Either way, Lodder has been overtaken by Gary 131, who is now going to hunt down Charlie Goff. Smoky Devil has got Xmart and the only G on the back of him, and G's just lost it. G has just lost it there then on his own. And he's lost his front bumper now, so I'm not quite sure what happened to G then, but he just lost the rear of the car. Must have clipped a puddle or something. This man, though, doing a stellar job out front is Unorthodox. Smoky Devil, the only one so far with a time penalty, so he's clearly just been testing a few track limits at the minute, and it's now not going in his favour anymore. But he's doing a good job, 5.6 ahead of anybody else so far. Amazing Pie Boy doing a good job in second place with Avo Alfonso down in P3. John Boy sitting in 4th, and he's got that gap to Andy now. But really needs to get back on it. Emo Guy, though, trying to stick within a second of Andy, has got to worry more about Spliffmaster from behind, because he's really attacking Andy here. And this is so far an amazing little drive from Spliffmaster. He's been quiet all race. He's now going to look up the inside of Spliffmaster on this 8th lap of the race. 9 laps in total, but we're on lap 8 due to the formation lap. And Spliffmaster here then, looking good for his money so far. Can he get that job done and get past Emo Guy to just up him an extra place? Every point helps at the minute, every point counts as well. So what can happen? Can Spliffmaster get the job done? We'll wait and see. Fury gaining on the back of Spliffmaster. Charlie Goff's getting a queue of cars behind him here. He starts off with Gary 131, Lodder, Xmart, Smoky Devil. Then we got the only G down in 14th place. DJ Phil having a bit of a quiet one on his own. Where is DJ Phil? Cameraman picks him up now. There is DJ Phil down in 15th place. Charlie Goff, Gary, Lodder, Xmart, Smoky Devil on the back of him. Where is Gary going to think about making a move on Charlie Goff? 2 seconds quicker last time around. What is he this time around? Is Gary up any? Not as much, but still quicker than Charlie Goff. Last lap, Spliffmaster and Fury then still on the back of Emo Guy, and Emo Guy, who's battled with John Boy and Andy most of this race, has just dropped off the back of them and is struggling now to keep with them at the moment. John Boy's kind of gone and Andy's gone as well. John Boy's been allowed now though to be 2 seconds last lap quicker than Avo Alfonso. 2.5 minutes remain, so we'll get at least 2 laps in. Can John Boy make inroads and get on the podium here? That'd be fantastic. And Spliffmaster's past Emo Guy. Didn't quite see what happened there, but Spliffmaster has got through. Emo Guy just didn't seem to get the power down around the corner. John Boy is now within a second of Avo Alfonso. And Andy has Spliffmaster gaining on him quite quickly. As the Spliffmaster having a good end to this race so far. I've just saw on the timing screen that Lodder has just got past Smoky Devil. That is a move that is done. Gary has passed Charlie Goff. And now can he catch Fury for 8th place? Evening to Liam Gamer in the chat. That Bozzy Boy, aka Liam Gamer. Hello, my guys. Evening, Liam. Hope you're well. 17 people watching. Come on, guys. Let's get 17 likes on this video. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. If you want to know... If you want to know more about Motive Racing, head over to www.motiveracing.com if you want to find out more about their leagues or what is run. Even if you'd like to just help out as a steward, as a commentator, I'm sure that the guys here, Andy and G, can find something for you to do. Just behind Andy and Spliffmaster and Emo Guy, they tangle, they touch a bit. Spliffmaster loses the rear and Emo Guy lets him keep that position, but he's now got Fury on the back of him. And let's jump on board Fury. What can Fury do? He's already got past Emo Guy. So Emo Guy down into P8, evening to Welshie. So a very good evening to you, sir. Emo Guy on the back of Fury, pretty much teammates over at Simplay in the Nissan GTR. Same livery tonight, so they kind of work together. They enjoy working together, do Emo Guy and Fury. And I wonder if these two can work together now to get on the back of Spliffmaster. We've got 30 seconds remaining in this race, and Unorthodox is in a world of his own at the moment. Coming around to the back part of the track, we might get one more lap in here, guys. Yeah, we will. We're going to get one more lap in then, so Unorthodox is going to come out the final corner now, and down towards the start line he goes. Just double check that he just crossed the line. Yep, crosses the line, 4 seconds to go. So it's Unorthodox from Amazing Pie Boy. Avo Alfonso now has John Boy for company. This for the final podium spot, and Alfonso's gone deep, and John Boy says thank you very much. Gracias, he says there, and that's P3 for John Boy. And Alfonso made the mistake coming into the penultimate corner, and that's effectively cost him a podium here. Andy has Spliffmaster all over the rear end of him then, and what can Andy get done here? Can he hold off Spliffmaster for P5 at the end of this one? Let's see. Fury stayed ahead of Emo Guy. Emo Guy's effectively dropped down to P12. So what has happened to Emo Guy? Gary's now up into 8th. He's got Charlie Goff not far behind him. Xmart all over the rear end of Charlie Goff. Emo Guy then 11th. He's got Smoky Devil and Lodder for company. The only G's not far off them. DJ Phil's just coming around to start his final lap of the race. And the race leader then Heads down a long straight here at Oschersleben. Again, apologies if I'm murdering that pronunciation. But here we go. The leader then has been absolutely fantastic. He's not put a foot wrong in this race. Spliffmaster has got past Andy. We haven't seen that one. And Fury's gaining on the back of Andy now for these final couple of points here. This for 5th place on the track. John Boy's picked himself up a time penalty. Does he have enough to keep it in front of Avo Alfonso though? But this man rounds the final corner, and for the first time tonight he's flashy of the lights for him. It's Unorthodox who takes the race win. A good drive from him. Got past the Amazing Pie Boy early on, and it's been easy work since then. The Amazing Pie Boy though will take a good P2. Made his debut last weekend in the touring cars, and a flash of lights from him. He takes a P2. John Boy will get 3rd. Will he keep it though across the line? Let's see if Avo Alfonso's close enough due to time penalty. No, he isn't. So Alfonso gets 3rd. 4th, sorry. Spliffmaster will take P5. Fury's going to take 6th as Andy's got himself a time penalty then, so Andy will get P7. Gary on the pad. Can he fend off Charlie Goff at the end? That BMW is battered and bruised. Can Gary 131 fend off him? Yes, he can. Charlie Goff knife. X-Mark P10. Emo Guy comes home 11th. Smoky Devil, the only G will get 12th. Lodder 13th. Smoky Devil 14th. And we just await DJ Phil to finish this one then. Currently down in P15. He's up on his Delta though, so that's good to see, Phil. Keep it going, buddy. You're doing a top job, mate. It's good to see Phil. Phil races in pretty much everything Motive have to offer. He's even over at our channel, Simplayer Motorsport, as well. And he's an absolute top guy, is DJ Phil Green. Always puts his thoughts across. He always shares how he feels and things. He's a top bloke. Flash the lights from you. So well done, Phil. Nice of you to bring it home. But it's Unorthodox who takes the race win in this first one, with Amazing Pie Boy and John Boy on the podium then. John Boy, I think, takes the fastest lap of the race there. But we'll be right back after this quick break. Where we'll be ready for the feature race, so don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back then to the second half of this Touring Car Championship Round 4 race here at the Oschersleben A course. Qualifying time now then, 15 minutes on the clock for the guys, and this is where they can get the chance to be pole. There is a pit stop in this second race and a bit of a longer race as well than the 20 minutes we saw, or whatever it was we saw in race 1. I will inform the viewers that you cannot pit until lap 8 onwards. So that is the pit window here, and we've currently got Gary just coming out the pits onto track. We've got Emo Guy already on track. Andy is out there, Xmart as well. Afo Alfonso is out on track. So, excuse me, is Lodder. He's just coming out onto track. John Boy in the pits, Fury in the pits. DJ Phil Green's on track. Smoky Devil on track as well. Spliff Master is in the pit lane. Unorthodox, an Amazing Pie Boy, and the Only G all out on track then. So it's going to be a fascinating one to watch here. We'll see what these boys could do at the Oschersleben A course for the feature race then. Should be an absolutely cracking event. And I reckon that we've got all the chances here to make this absolutely brilliant then. So far, Kelly Davis says go Dan. Charlie Goff has joined us back, so we've got Charlie Goff back. Hopefully we'll get him out on track in just a moment. So go Dan, says Kelly Davis. Gary, he's gave it his best go, bless him. Beam was hard to work, and them conditions, to be fair, just went really loose on every bend like aquaplaning. Haha. Let's see what you can do race 2 then. We're currently on board Emo Guy, who I think has just backed out. No, that's John Boy backing out of a lap. So here he is, look, in the monster liveried Renault Megane. So hello to everybody who's live on Facebook, and hello to everybody who is live on YouTube. Very nice to have you here. Absolutely brilliant stuff so far then. What can we expect in qualifying here then? And Emo Guy coming to the end of his lap. What is Emo Guy going to do on his first lap out as well, his first timed lap? So let's see, everybody's out on track now. Charlie Goff back in the lobby. He's also out on track. 19 people watching this stream, but still only 14 likes. So guys, get the likes in for the video, please. It really helps the channel, and just everybody here at Motive, we all appreciate the thumbs up that you give us. We all appreciate the time and effort you take out as we see him go pole and really get it all sideways through the first corner then. What can Gary 131 do? He's coming towards the back end of his lap. Smoky Devil's currently gone P2. Andy crosses the line and goes pole position at the moment. Where's Fury? Not quite at the end of his lap. Yeah, Xmart's gone provisional pole by 600ths of a second. Gary and the Only G, the two BMWs, the yellow Pirelli cars, working together here. So what can these two do on their lap times? Yeah, we really appreciate every like that we get. It really sort of helps us out and helps us grow as a channel, so please do give the video a big thumbs up. Gary crosses the line and doesn't set a time. The Only G though goes P8, so I wonder if G will let Gary use his slipstream here then. I just saw him pull out. Unorthodox currently P8 and in the pits. Charlie Goff come towards the end of his lap. Is that an out lap? Let's wait and see. See what kind of time he does here as he crosses the line. Out lap then for Charlie Goff. Fury coming around the final couple of corners, as is Spliff Master. So what can Spliff Master do here? Is he going to set a time? Fury won't. Fury's had a lap time invalid. Spliff Master doesn't set a time. Neither then. Avo Alfonso's not got a time. John Boy's coming up to the line to get a lap time as well. Let's see what he can do. Emo Guy has just improved and gone P4 at the moment. So it's the Only G from Xmart, from Andy, Emo Guy, Lodder, Smoky Devil, Gary. Did set a time and go 7th. Unorthodox, Amazing Pie Boy, Charlie Goff. John Boy then goes up into P2. So heck of a lap from him. Good stuff so far. Smoky Devil crosses line. 7th, Andy crosses the line and goes provisional pole position at the moment then. So a good lap from him. Xmark will be next to cross the line here. And doesn't improve on his time there. DJ Phil Green crosses the line. And he doesn't set a lap time neither. Smoky Devil and Andy currently sat in the pit lane. The only G coming towards the final corner now. Dubtech V, how do you get involved in this? If you want to get involved in this, head to www.motiveracing.com. Go to their Facebook page at Motive Racing League or head over to their Discord channel, Motive Racing, to find out how you get involved with this league. Gary sitting P9 at the moment. Unorthodox currently 10th and going a bit slow on track at the moment. Charlie Goff, what can he do from here? Currently coming up to the last corner then. And what can Charlie Goff do from here? Not yet got a lap time on the board. And crosses the line now and goes P9. So a good lap time from him and goes into the pits. Unorthodox was the guy who was letting him through. What can Fury do from here then? Spliffmaster in front, not yet set a lap time and goes P11 with his time. Fury crosses the line now and doesn't do a time as well. Avo Alfonso and DJ Phil not got a time still at the moment, so not going well so far. Emo guy, he's up to P4 with that time he's just done. John Boy's about to cross the line and goes P2, so just 7/10 off the back of the only G. Good qualifying so far from John Boy at the minute. Ed. Top stuff as of yet. G, Andy, Emo Guy, Lodder all in the pits. Where is Xmark? He's coming around to the final corner now. So let's see if he can get a lap time on the board in the blue and yellow Renault Megane then. Down the straight, across the line, no improvement. What about DJ Phil? Can he get his first lap time on the board? The red Momo liveried car crosses the line now and does get his first time on the board up into P13 and heads straight for the pit lane. Avo Alfonso then, no lap time on the board yet. That's Gary just in front of him about to cross the line. He doesn't improve. Avo Alfonso gets a time on the board and gets a time P4 at the moment. So good lap that for Avo Alfonso. Struggling to get one on the board and then moves up to P4 straight away. Absolutely banging lap time that. Emo Guy and Fury kind of using each other's slipstream a bit here. So let's see what them two can do together. Can they use each other to full effect? Take a good qualifying position for both of them here. Fury giving Emo Guy the best tow he can at the moment. Good long start straight here to give him a tow. Fury crosses line, goes P14. Emo Guy stays P7 then with that one. John Boy comes out the last corner now. And improves 0.6 of a second, so he's only a 10th off of the only G at the minute. So heck of a lap time for himself. Unorthodox is up to P4 now. Amazing Pie Boy down in P6 at the moment. Cameraman picks him up now. Emo Guy 7th. Xmark's 9th. What's Xmark going to do here? No improvement for Xmark. DJ Phil's down at turn 1. Fury sort of mid-track. Gary 131 down in 13th, and we're not used to seeing Gary this low down. But obviously after the knee operation, struggling to find the pace he'd have liked. So what's he going to do as he crosses the line? Does improve 2 seconds, goes up to P9. Avo Alfonso can't improve at all. And for Andy then, that was an outlap. So the top 3 separated by just under a second. Wonder where... Oh, Andy just getting a bit sideways there. Only G, Tyler House, so it depends on the driver, not the car. Yep, completely agree with that one, to be fair. Megane, I wouldn't say it's overpowered. Don't get me wrong, it's probably one of the most or better all-round cars, I'd say, compared to the Astra and the BMW, I'd say. But it has exactly the same stats as the... if you base it off default, it is exactly the same stats as the Mercedes-Benz. So, you know, I wouldn't say the Megane is a overpowered car. I'd say it does depend on how you can drive it. But clearly Tyler feels otherwise. The only G just waiting to get out of the pits, waiting for a gap so he doesn't get involved in traffic, and rejoins absolutely to perfection. Unorthodox and 4th. Avo Alfonso's right behind Gary 131. Amazing Pie Boy as well. He just waits for the track to clear up a bit so he can join the track now. And slots on absolutely beautifully. Emo Guy currently down in 7th place. X-Mark's in the pits. Fury's 9th. Gary's dropped to 10th here, but he's coming around the last corner now. He's got Alfonso right behind him. Gary crosses line, no improvement. Alfonso stays P4. At the moment, Spliff Master coming to the end of his lap, down in P11. Half a second up on his delta so far though, so this will take him up a couple of places here. Half a second at the minute could take him up as far as 8th. If he can find any more time, he could go as far as 6th. Needs to find about 1.2 seconds to go any further up the order. And crosses the line and gains 9 tenths, goes P6 then. Only a couple more tenths, he'd have been above Unorthodox there, but he's not. Lodder, he's at the early part of his track. Smoky Devil's coming towards the end of his lap. Can he improve? Needs a fair few tenths, about 8 tenths, 7 tenths to get anywhere near Lodder and improve his time. That was pretty much, I think, an outlap. Nothing came up. And for DJ Phil, he improves by 3.8 seconds. So DJ Phil getting a bit closer to Charlie Goff on the back of his time. Charlie Goff coming to the end of his lap. What can Charlie do here then? And Charlie Goff must have been on an outlap. Lodder comes to the final corner. What can Lodder do here then on this lap? We've got 2 minutes 43 remaining qualifying and doesn't improve. Fury and John Boy at the beginning of their lap. X-Marked. He's coming to the end of his lap, so he'll be the next one to finish. John Boy sat in the pits, but he's within a tenth and a half off of the only G. Smart crosses the line at 4, no improvement. Emo Guy then coming to the end of his lap, so Spliff Master. Unorthodox is about to cross the line, currently sat in P5. Can he find any more time? He does, finds 1.1 seconds, so that takes him within 3 tenths of the only G. A couple of tenths off of John Boy and 3 tenths ahead of Andy, so a good lap time from Unorthodox that. Andy trying to get some heat into his tyres with the looks of that, weaving around all over the place. Avo Alfonso doesn't improve, Spliff Master doesn't improve, Emo Guy doesn't improve, Fury does improve, and Gary, no, that was G behind him, sorry, but so Fury improved up to P7. Gary's all the way down in the first sector. That was G behind Fury and Emo Guy there then. Didn't set a new fastest lap of the race. Where is John Boy? Coming up towards the second sector time. Andy staying out of John Boy's way, but John Boy did look like he was warming up his tyres. Amazing Pie Boy's down in 9th. X-Mart as well, he's coming up sector 2. Lodder round to the final corner then, and he's going to come down to the start line. Just over a minute left on the clock, and Lodder gains 7 tenths and goes up to P10. Smoky Devil and Fury go into the pit, so they will not get another lap time in. Charlie Goff just started another lap, and DJ Phil is halfway through a lap then. So where is the only G? We've got 51 seconds left. John Boy's just crossed the line to get on another lap. Andy will also cross the line to get on another lap. What about X-Mart? He improves on his time by half a second and goes up into P6 then. So a heck of a lap time that from X-Mart. Top stuff so far from him. Spliff Master behind, I do believe, the only G. Yep. So with qualifying coming to an end here, 25 seconds remain. Does G manage to find any more time? It's Emo Guy who will set the first time here. That's this little gaggle of cars. Can Emo Guy improve any then? He can, 7 tenths. G can't find any. What about Spliff Master? He can't find any. Emo Guy goes up into 6th place then. After that one, Amazing Pie Boy out the final corner down in P10. What is he going to do? No improvement for him. We'll get one more shot at one more bite at the cherry. For Charlie Goff, he'll be the first man to finish qualifying. We have got a man off just after sector 2, and Charlie Goff gets it on the grass and ends up putting it in the pit lane then. It's DJ Phil who's in the wall. He's not in the best of positions here then. John Boy will be the first man to finish a lap time here. comes into the final corner. Couldn't get it round properly, and John Boy then is going to go sideways across the line. No improvement. Andy improves to P2. So heck of a job that. What can Avo Alfonso do? Can he get up closer to the front row? What can Unorthodox do as well? 3 taps off the pole. Andy within 200ths of a second off of the only G. But what can Unorthodox do? Can he get up there as well? No, he can't. Avo Alfonso can't improve. What about Emo Guy? He can't improve neither. So it's the only G who'll take pole from Andy in second place. So G from Andy, John Boy third, Unorthodox P4, and Alfonso in the top 5. So that'll be the top 5 for the race. Emo Guy, championship leader, will start 6th with X Mark 7th. So work to do for the championship leader. I'll be right back shortly as the cars will get ready up, sort the race setups out, sort the pit strategies out, and we'll be right back. So the drivers then have readied up. We're synced and ready to go. Fury's granddad says, come on Fury, and Ricardo Jimenez, hello from Spain. Good evening from Spain. But it's lights out and away we go here at the Oschersleben A course then. And it's the only G who's got a right good start. And look at that, of 3 cars here. One of them being Unorthodox. Avo Alfonso was involved. Emo Guy as well. So not the start that these guys would have wanted. Unorthodox, Emo Guy and Avo Alfonso off the start line. Terrible start for them. Was Smokey Devil caught up in all of that? His car looks alright at the minute. Maybe he just avoided it all. DJ Phil looks like he got caught up in a bit of it. He's a bit battered and bruised. So chaos off the start line, but the only G's got away from Andy. Now don't forget the drivers cannot pit until after lap 8. It is a 24 lap race here then. So it's G from Andy, John Boy up into P3 now, and the 3 leaders are already away from Fury in P4. Who's got Spliffmaster, Amazing Pie Boy, Lodder, and Gary and Charlie Goff all over the back of him. Gary said he might struggle in the dry race now. Now that conditions have gone away, will the BMW succeed or not? DJ Phil's up to 10th with Smokey Devil, P11, X Mark 12th. He's lost a couple of places as well. Alfonso, Unorthodox and Emo Guy on their merry way. But with battered and bruised cars here then. G just starting to pull out a little gap. Andy's already got a time penalty on his to his name, which will go against him at the end of the race. 19 people watching, which means there's still room for 2 more likes on the video to get maximum likes with people watching at the minute. So please guys, hit that thumbs up button. But Andy and John Boy here are away and are trying to keep with G. They've pulled away from Fury. They just now need to keep with G. DJ Phil's picked himself up a time penalty. Ricardo Jimenez, hello from Spain. J Palm, good luck everyone. Ricardo Jimenez says, let's go Alfonso. Snowpalm says, all out Ricardo, crazy start. And come on, Gary, just do your best, says Bethany and Duffin. And look at that, Andy a bit deep into turn one, and that's really allowed John Boy, who's a bit interested here, coming through too, and it's a long right-hander. But Andy's done really well to keep it around the outside. They bumped doors a little bit. Rubin's racing, they say, and that's fantastic stuff from Andy and John Boy then, who are making this look brilliant at the minute. Amazing Pie Boy leads Lodder, and he's trying to chase down Fury. Lodder's got Gary all over the back of him. Up to P7 is Gary, so a decent start. Not nothing to really be... can't argue about. Ben Parkey on Facebook, Go Xmark, Team Prolapse. Your boy's not doing too well at the minute, down in P15 and last. Smoky Devil is on the back of Unorthodox, has Unorthodox just got past Smoky Devil. I'd have thought so, because Unorthodox was behind Smoky Devil earlier. So it looks like he's got up and past Smoky Devil then. Andy has started to gap John Boy. Amazing Pie Boy is gaining on the back of Fury really quickly here then. And what has happened to Gary? Lost out to Charlie Goff. Who's that? Is that Lodder with a slowdown? Yeah, Lodder must have a slowdown penalty here, as he's going really slow. And that he's lost a fair few places there. Gary then up ahead of Lodder. Lost out to Charlie Goff early. He's got Spliffmaster behind him, who went well at the end of race one, remember. So Spliffmaster, no easy task for Gary 131 to defend from here. Amazing Pie Boy, though, is really on a mission to catch up to the back of Fury. Smoky Devil has now picked himself up a time penalty. Emo Guy in the pits. Now I'm not sure why, as you cannot pit until after lap 6. So I'm not sure what Emo Guy is pitting for now. He'll have to pit again after lap 6. If he doesn't re-pit, that could be a steward's inquiry then. Emo Guy is gaining on Fury. Gary regaining on Charlie Goff as it stands at the moment. And I wonder if Gary can make a move. He's just started to pull away from Spliffmaster a little bit, is Gary. Spliffmaster got Lodder to think about now as well. DJ Phil going well in P10 at the minute. Oh, he's gone deep into turn 1, and as he cuts a bit of the track, collects Avu Alfonso, who's off, and loses out to Unorthodox and Smoky Devil then. Alfonso rejoins, but DJ Phil there just needed to be a bit more careful when he was rejoining the track. He unfortunately wasn't. He's down to P14. Emo Guy is just leaving the pits now, so why is he pitting? I'm not sure. I think we only run damage on visual only, but if damage is on, that will be the reason why he's pitted, I'd imagine. John Boy still on the back of Andy then, as Fury must have made a mistake, as Amazing Pie Boy has not only got past him, he's gone miles in front. Evil Scotsman in the chat, he's had the wet tyres on. Oh, Emo Guy starting on the wet tyre, how bad is that? So he's pitted, had to change tyres, explains how long the pit stop was then, and has got a lot of work to do from here. 1 minute 20 down on the leader, and it's only 1 minute 30 a lap, or just over 1 minute 30 a lap. But Amazing Pie Boy then up to 4th. What has happened to G? He's been caught by Andy and John Boy then, so this getting a bit interesting at the front of the pack. And Fury being caught by Charlie Goff, Gary 131, Spliffmaster and Lodder then. Gary was just having a look at Charlie Goff there, and look at how he's caught him coming through that corner there then. Gary looking racy tonight after a successful knee operation. Good to see Gary back on track. We missed him in the Clios here at Motive Racing last week, so we'll see if Gary's back for the Clios on Tuesday night. We sure missed him, but he's doing well so far, so come on Gary. Best of luck to you, mate. Charlie Goff doing a top job at the moment. G, though, has that gap back out to 1.2 seconds so far. At the moment, though, Andy doing a stellar job to keep fending off John Boy. He's got that time penalty to think about, though, don't forget, but we normally see Andy go long in these races, go long on the pit stops compared to everybody else. 19 people watching. Whoever's not like that, press that thumbs up button. Let's get it like. It's 20 now, so get them 2 people to like this video, as this is brilliant racing throughout the night for the Motive lads. Been top driving. Unorthodox, Avu Alfonso, Smoky Devil, DJ Phil and Andy all have a time penalty. Gary has got ahead of Charlie Goff then, and Charlie Goff now has Spliffmaster and Lauder gaining on the back of him. Can Gary now just start to ease away from Charlie Goff here? Don't forget, Gary was second in the championship for his knee operation, so he's no slouch, but obviously having to resort to the pad tonight. So he's really struggling a bit. Maybe coming to grips with the pad, although he's done good, he's got good results. P5 at the minute, nothing to be slouched in for. Charlie Goff though, 6th out of 7th, and Spliffmaster is all over the back of him, having a look left, right. Cannot get the move done at the moment, all up the rear end and just kind of pushing him along through the corner. He's now tucked underneath and has that front end tucked under Charlie Goff's rear. As they come into the select chicane section here, just has to back out that one. Doesn't want to cause an incident with Charlie Goff. Amazing Pie Boy has picked himself up a time penalty, and there is Amazing Pie Boy just up the road. So can Gary hunt him down? And Charlie Goff's already gone defensive here over Spliffmaster. Can he go the long way around the outside? Charlie Goff defends him well, but Spliffmaster will have the inside line for the next part of the track and gets that move done like a peach. And Lauder just follows him through. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Got a cracking run there as well. Murphy Lauder says it's Lauder time. Indeed it is. What a move that was from your boy. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. P7 on track. He had a good run, but the corner was just coming up, so he had to sort of back out that one with Spliffmaster. Unorthodox now on the back of this pack as well. But Charlie Goff, is he going to have a look back here? Lauder going down the inside into turn 1. Going to do well to make that one stick, and they're on the brakes. Spliffmaster just gets it onto the gravel, and he's going to have to rejoin, but carefully, and I think he did. He does well to rejoin there, but Lauder now up into P6. Charlie Goff 7th, Unorthodox 8th, as Spliffmaster just outbraked himself into the first corner there then. And that kind of has hurt Spliffmaster. He's still on the back of the pack, so he's still in with a shout. What has happened up front though? Andy leads by half a second from the only G. That gap last time out was 1.2 seconds. So G's clearly made another mistake somewhere. John Boy still about the same gap behind Andy, about a second to him. But G all over the back of Andy here then. This for the first place on the track at the moment. So where does G think of making the move? It is lap 6 of 24. You can pit as from lap 8. And the BMW of the only G really hassling the back of that Renault Megane of Andy. Oh, getting the rear end all kind of slidey there. All sorts of sideways. Look at the amount of time penalties coming in then. Unorthodox has passed Lauder for P6. Lauder's back down to 7th. But there's the battle for first at the moment. 3 for first position. Andy, the only G P2, and Lauder sitting in P3. Let's go on board with the only G. Look at him really getting on the back of Andy. Oh, and he's tapped the back of Andy. And around goes the only G. And that has allowed John Boy up and through. So late on the brakes was the only G there. But he's gone into the back of Andy. And that has allowed these guys to get 3-4 seconds up the road from him now. G, he's not in trouble from the Amazing Pie Boy behind. He's got a couple of seconds to him. But what a mistake that was from G. Just so late on the brakes compared to Andy. He goes so deep. But it hasn't worked out. Gary trying to hunt down the Amazing Pie Boy. That gap is 6 seconds. He's got 5 seconds to Lauder. Lauder and Spliffmaster back in front of Unorthodox. And this battle remains Lauder, Spliffmaster, Unorthodox and Charlie Goff. Avo Alfonso and Fury, I'm sure, would like to be on the back of this. That's them two just behind there for 10th and 11th. Smoky Devil currently sits P12 with X-Mart on the back of him for 13th place. DJ Phil at 14th and Emo Guy after pitting full of wet tyre. He's 121 behind the leader. So after all them laps he's been running round on the right tyre. He's only gained 1 second at the minute. And as far as I'm aware, may have to pit again. I'm not quite sure on what the stewards rule in terms of pitting early because you've got the wrong tyre on. Lauder has Spliffmaster all over the rear of him then. And what can Spliff do here? Oh, he's braking really early there. That to me suggested he's had a slowdown penalty as he brakes really early then. Unorthodox has Avo Alfonso, who's got past Charlie Goff and has Fury all over the back of Charlie Goff now. In fact, Charlie Goff is it's been overtaken by Fury, so that didn't last long at all. Fury getting that job done and wants to now head down to Avo Alfonso and Unorthodox here then. But Spliffmaster losing out big to Lauder, although Lauder must have lost out somewhere else on track because Spliffmaster is now, all over the back of Lauder yet again here. We go on board Spliffmaster. And is he going to think of such sending one into turn 1? Nope, tucks back in. Realises that he outbrakes himself massively here last time and gets it stopped right here Round turn 2, such a long right-hander. John Boy back within a second of Andy for the race lead at the moment then. Spliffmaster cannot do anything about it. Ricardo Jimenez in the chat, Alfonso is faster. Hummer time. I'm not quite sure what Hummer time means, but Alfonso is definitely a lot faster than the 3 cars in front of him, Lauda, Spliffmaster and Unorthodox. Can he gain on the back of them though? That's the question. Spliffmaster's got that car tucked up underneath Lauda here. And as Lauda's gone very, very wide, rejoins just in front of Unorthodox, but Spliffmaster, has that moved on? See a lot of battered and broken and bruised touring cars on this track today. On board Lauda. As we look back then to Unorthodox on the bumper cam. This is from the bumper view, and he's going to go up the inside of Lauda then. Can Lauda keep it there? Because he'll be on the inside for the next part of the track, and he is indeed. And Unorthodox just gets such a good run out that corner, but he's going to be on the outside again here. But he's got it done this time, so he's gone round the outside of Lauda. Cracking move. Alfonso now the man to watch. Can he get a job done on Lauda? Lauda just seems to be losing out on a few places here, making a few mistakes that Lauda, you know, will be disappointed that he's made. And I think if you're Alfonso, you'll be wanting to try and get on the back of this. Lauda back in front of Alfonso, or stayed in front of Alfonso, should I say. And was on the back. Spliffmaster's gone very, very wide there, and Unorthodox has gained a position. Look at Lauda having to defend from Ivo Alfonso then, so Unorthodox now up into P6. Fury's gone up the inside of Alfonso and Lauda there, as I think Alfonso tapped the rear of Lauda. Lauda was all kinds of sideways there. Awesome move, Dan, says Kelly Davis. So clearly a Dan fan, clearly on Dan, aka this man Unorthodox, I assume is the Dan she's on about. John Boy keeping that gap within a second. Charlie Goff and Spooky Devil have pitted and been in and out the pits. Then Emo Guy is not yet near the pits, I do not believe. But this, the battle we cannot take our eyes off at the moment. Unorthodox, can he get away from Spliffmaster? He's pulled across. Does Unorthodox have a slowdown penalty? I believe he does. The Spliffmaster's gone past. Fury looks like he's going to go past. The only G is pitted. The only G as well has a time penalty in this race. Fury around the outside. Lauda's going to try and go around the outside, but Lauda and Alfonso's in the gravel, and Alfonso's had a half spin there. And that's unfortunate for him. X-Mart has now got past. So just as a comment comes in about X-Mart, Team Prolapse, X-Mart has managed to get now into the top 10. The only G's in the pits, and Gary has now passed the only G. When is G away here? Because he's now losing places hand over fist. G's away now. Ivo Alfonso is also coming for his pit stop. DJ Phil still running P12 at the minute. Oh. Kelly Davis says I'm his dad. There we go then. Well, he's doing a cracking job at the minute, having some good battles so far. Down in P7, having a real good fight with Spliffmaster and Fury tonight, and Lauda. Alfonso lost it on his own. 21 watching, 20 watching now, should I say? So still room for a like on the page. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and head over to the website if you feel like getting involved. Head over to www.motiveracing.com. Check out their Discord server, or go to Facebook at Motive Racing League and check out what stuff they have to offer. See if it's anything that tickled your fancy. Well, at the moment it's Andy leading from John Boy. Amazing Pie Boy sits P3. He's had a good night tonight as Amazing Pie Boy. Can he though manage to keep the pressure on and manage to keep doing what he's doing? It sounded like a car was off there, and I'm not quite sure who it was. I'm not quite sure who it was. Fury though is diving into the pit lane, and Unorthodox will stay out and take P5 from him. Oh, where's Spliffmaster gone? It must be Spliffmaster who's made a mistake. He's made another mistake on pit entry as well here. No, I really am his dad. I'm not saying you're not. I never said you wasn't. Spliffmaster then into the pit lane after making a couple of mistakes here. So Unorthodox up to P5, Lodder up to P6, Xmart P7 and catching on the back of Lodder. Gary still running P4. Doesn't seem to be making inroads to the amazing Pie Boy though. John Boy and Andy still out on track as well. G's pitted, Fury's in the pit, Spliffmaster in the pits, DJ Phil I don't believe is pitted yet, but Charlie Goff, Alvaro Alfonso's down in 13th. Smoky Devil and Emo Guy all have pitted so far then. Andy, good lead, 1.3 seconds to John Boy, but he's got that time penalty he's got to be wary of here as Andy. 24 people now watching the stream, so if we can all get a like on this video, that'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. Really do appreciate it, really helps the channel grow and really helps the channel get to where it needs to be. Like I say, John Boy within a second, really pressuring Andy. He won't let Andy settle here. Kurt Hodgson says, will G bring it back? That is the question, Kurt. Will G bring it back indeed? Currently down in fact, where has G gone? I think we've lost G from the race. No, I think G's retired. I think we've lost the only G here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, there's a car sat in the pit lane. I think the only G is retired from this race. Can't see his name on the leaderboard. So my guess then is that the only G has retired from this race. So Kurt, will G bring it back? The answer is no. Won't bring it back. He'll retire from the race here. So not what he wanted at all was the only G. So Andy from John Boy then. P2 within a second that battle. DJ Phil's gaining on the back of Fury, but that is because Fury's came out of the pits then. Also, when will I commentate ACC? You want me on ACC commentary? Thank you, I appreciate that. I'll have to get in touch with Andy and the only G, and it just depends if I have the time, because I know ACC is a bit earlier on a Sunday, and I do have my son on a weekend, so I'm able to do this on a Sunday night because he goes back to his mum's. Any earlier, I might still have my son here, so it'll be something I'd have to look at and speak with Andy and the only G about. But I appreciate the fact that you want me on the Assetto Corsa commentary. It means a lot. Thank you, buddy. John Boy then in the pits, pulls the trigger between himself and Andy. When will Andy decide to pit? We know he loves a late pit stop. We're half distance in this race, and Fury DJ Phil have just gapped themselves a bit more now, so there's not really much happening on track since these pit stops. Field just starting to get a bit spread out. Amazing Pie Boy has pitted. Does Gary react to Amazing Pie Boy going in the pits? No, Gary's going to stay out and should inherit P2 at the minute. And John Boy just pulls into his box. And maybe Amazing Pie. It's a long pit entry here at Oschersleben. Real long pit entry here. So it feels like you've got to go for an eternity. John Boy out the pits now. And Gary, though, does go into P2. Unorthodox up into P5. Still not pitted yet. Neither has Lodder or Xmart. And I believe neither is DJ Phil, who is pressuring Fury at the minute. Charlie Goff putting some pressure on Spliffmaster as well, and Alvaro Alfonso is pressuring Smoky Devil. But what has happened to them two is Emo Guy has managed to get through and pass him then. So Emo Guy starting to make some moves up the order here. But it's Andy who leads at the moment. P1 on track. DJ Phil just dropped off the back of Fury a bit there, but Charlie Goff and Spliffmaster pressuring each other. What's going to happen here then for this one? We'll have to wait and see. Spliffmaster going a bit slow there, so he must have received a slowdown penalty there then. I think Andy's just gone through to lap him. Yeah, Andy's gone through to lap Spliffmaster. Down in P11, Charlie Goff has got past. That's Emo Guy now on the rear of Spliffmaster. Team Prolapse, go Xmart, they say, cheering Xmart on up in P6. Yet to pit though is Xmart at the moment. So he's still got to make his pit stop. John Boy, who has pitted, is gaining on the back of Lodder, who hasn't pitted yet then, but he's coming in now. So Lodder's coming in. Unorthodox and Gary have stayed out on track. Unorthodox just slightly making inroads on Gary. Yeah, gained there by a second and a half on Gary there then. Lodder and Xmart now in the pits. It's such a long pit lane here. You could lose a lot of time. Do believe DJ Phil's got to pit. And then I think after DJ Phil, it's just Gary, Unorthodox and Andy to pit then. Gary didn't qualify high up, but he's currently running P2. No time penalties compared to a lot of the field. So Gary could find himself in a good position here, but needs to keep lapping well and keep making that, keep getting that gap. He was about 8 seconds behind Amazing Pie Boy when Amazing Pie Boy went in the pits. So we'll have to see where he comes out in relation to him. John Boy will be the one to watch as well. Can he take the race lead from Andy when Andy decides to pit? Gap's up to 35 seconds though. Currently based off the last lap, as Andy was John Boy was in the pits, apologies. Andy obviously stayed out. Andy stays out again here. What is Gary going to do this time around? G says good luck to all. So it's a shame we've lost G from this one, but no doubt he'll be back with a vengeance in the next series. Question is, when does Gary and Unorthodox pull the trigger then? Because they've not pitted yet, neither's Andy. Neither's DJ Phil. I don't believe DJ Phil's pitted anyway. But either way, not really much happening on track at the minute. Emo Guy's now back up into 10th ahead of Charlie Goff and Spliffmaster. Spliffmaster looking all over the back of Charlie Goff here. In fact, has that move done? Charlie Goff very slow out the section there. Sounds like there's a car that's lost it just up front. I'm not quite sure who that was though. But either way, Emo Guy, he's under attack from Spliffmaster as well. Look at how quick Spliffmaster gains on Emo Guy there. Good speed from Spliffmaster. He's showing good pace so far. Spliffmaster's shown good pace race 1 and he's shown good pace race 2 here as well so far. So it's looking good for Spliffmaster in this one. Needs a few good places though. He needs a few things to go his way in this second race if he's to gain any more positions in this one. And he's doing a fine job behind Emo Guy, who's having a recovery drive, if you will. After the starting on the wet tyre. Andy then halfway through his lap, is he going to pit this time around? Him, Gary, Unorthodox, and I do believe DJ Phil yet to pit. So 4 drivers yet to pit, lap 16 of 24. When did these guys pull the trigger? Andy's got to jump John Boy, don't forget. He is now 38 seconds ahead of John Boy. So interesting to see how Andy is doing at the moment. He has gained 3 seconds over John Boy over the last couple of laps. It was 35 a moment ago, it's now 38. So this is where Andy is at his best, the overcut that he does. Andy then lapping pretty much. Who's that just in front of that? DJ Phil just in front. No, that's Emo Guy. No, it's not. It's Fury. Emo Guy's back. No, DJ Phil's in the pits. So that's Fury who is just in front of Andy. So Andy is lapping up to P8 at the moment. So that is how well Andy's doing so far. Lapping 8th place on the grid. Unorthodox and Gary coming to the back end of this lap. Gary yet to pit. Oh, a bit wiggly on the curb there. What does Unorthodox do? They both stay out then. So they're going longer, these two here. Is it going to work over the Amazing Pie Boy? Gary's nearly got 30 seconds to the Amazing Pie Boy. Unorthodox not quite yet. They're lapping similar here. Gary has just done a 35 now, although Unorthodox 1.6 quicker last time around. So took a chunk of time out of Gary 131. Unorthodox doing a cracking job after that start line incident, don't forget, to be running P3. Where will he come out though? He's still yet to pit, so where will he come out? DJ Phillips came out P14. Look at the field though. Gary, John Boy, X-Mark, Fury, the only 4 drivers without a time penalty. Andy on the back of Fury while we're speaking about Fury then. and he's really trying to get on the back of him to put a lap on him. Surprised Fury hasn't actually moved out the way yet. Because in all fairness, he has now. In all fairness, I was going to say, he's holding Andy up a bit here. It's not affecting Andy too much, as the gap to John Boy is still 37 seconds. Gary 131 has 1.4 back to Unorthodox now, so Unorthodox just started to reel him in. That Smoky Devil they're about to put a lap on, so I'll be surprised if Smoky Devil doesn't move out the way sooner rather than later. But does Gary choose to pit? Andy stayed out yet again. It's only the top three who haven't pitted. Smoky Devil moves out the way now. Gary 30 seconds off of the leader, but he's 27 ahead of Amazing Pie Boy. When does Gary choose to come in? He doesn't. Neither does Unorthodox, so Unorthodox stays out as well as Gary 131. And now Smoky Devil in prime position to move out of Unorthodox way. Could have moved out to Gary's way on the back straight. Didn't. He's not really moving out of Unorthodox way here, or is Unorthodox just using him for the toe? Unorthodox goes 2.2 seconds quicker than Gary last time around, so he's really charging at the minute. Is Unorthodox. Gary doing a stellar job on the pad, don't get me wrong. Gary doing Unorthodox here just seems to be the better driver, just seems to have the edge at this moment in time. And he's all over the back of Gary now. This is pretty much the only battle on track. Oh, that's Smoky Devil in the background, just breaking on the grass, lost the rear, somehow managed to keep hold of it then. Top stuff from him. Unorthodox all over the back of Gary 131. What is he going to do? Trying to tuck underneath. You can just hear Unorthodox just feathering the throttle a little bit there. Was really sort of giving it a bit of feather to try and get it around the corner. He doesn't want to go ploughing into the back of Gary at all. So Gary still doing an amazing job at the moment out on track. Defending off Unorthodox like a peach so far. Bit of a wiggle for Gary there. Unorthodox all over the curb. Gary gets it on the apex of the corner, but look at the run Unorthodox gets here, and he's going to try and challenge Gary around the outside of the next part, the penultimate corner. Gary goes a little deep and ends up on the gravel, and Unorthodox goes through, but Gary dives into the pit lane. So we'll see if that tactic is working. He went onto the gravel. It's probably one of the better tactics to do there. John Boy, though, is now gaining. He's obviously going to pass Gary. He's now gaining on the back of Unorthodox and Smoky Devil to put a lap on. So can John Boy here then make it work and make it pay so far? At the minute, Andy from Unorthodox, M2 still to pit, lap 19 of 24. John Boy's P3. Gary's in fourth. Has Gary left the pits? He's just leaving the pits now as Amazing Pie Boy is coming down the pit straight. A flash of the lights from Amazing Pie Boy then, and Gary's on his way out. So Amazing Pie Boy has done enough then to pass Gary 131. So top work at the moment for Gary. He comes out P5. Unorthodox and Andy still to pit. Andy will start lap 20 now. He's lapped Fury. He's lapped Emo Guy. They're battling it out on track for 8th and 9th. X-Mark the next man for him to lap. That's Fury flashing his lights. I know Emo Guy loves Fury when he flashes his lights. We had Andy and him had a good laugh about that in the LMP2s the other week. He's flashing his lights again, Ian. Don't you worry. And at the moment, these two battling 8th and 9th on track. Closest battle on circuit at the moment. When does Andy on Unorthodox pits? Unorthodox is going another lap here then. Andy P20, lap 20 of 24. She's got to pit soon. At the moment, Andy doing a fantastic little job out front. 36 seconds ahead of John Boy. John Boy has just reeled him in slowly recently. But when does he decide to pull the trigger? He's the man who will know what he's doing. He's the man who will know when to pit or when not to pit. When's the time to do it? When's the time to come in? And I wonder when he is going to come in. And it's still not now, so he will go around to start lap 21 of 24. And Andy looking good value for his money as it stands at the moment then. Unorthodox down in P2. He's just coming up towards the second timing screen. The cameraman picks him up now. He's got John Boy 2.6 seconds behind him here. They run the same livery, do Andy and Unorthodox. Showing if they're a bit of a team helping each other out here. Murthy Lodder says keep up the pace, Lodder. Your boy doing a good job down in 6th place, lapping in the 135s. Similar pace as X Marty behind. Can they catch Gary, who's 8 seconds in front? That's the real question. Gary, 8 seconds ahead of Lodder, 8 seconds behind Amazing Pie Boy. Amazing Pie Boy, 27 seconds behind John Boy. John Boy, 2 seconds off of Unorthodox, who stays out to go onto lap 21 then. So Andy comes through the first sector and he's going to head around the long right-hand bend here. And through the chicane up straight to sector 2. When will Andy pit? Fury and Emo Guy, they've sort of spaced each other a bit here. And Emo Guy up into P8 as it is so far then. So Emo Guy looking like he's doing a good job so far. You know, he had that poor start, was involved in an incident, then got realised he was on the wet tyres, couldn't really put laps together. And you know, now he's really now starting to get things right and things sorted in terms of getting positions back. Championship leader, don't forget, as well, going into this round. So interesting to see what Emo Guy can do here. We've just got to see what happens to Emo Guy. Will it be any better than 8th? We'll have to wait and see. Andy still has not pitted yet in this race. Coming, where is he? Around turn 1 and 2, still not pitted then. Unorthodox coming to the back end of his lap. Is he going to put it in the pit lane this time around? So Unorthodox then just lapped Charlie Goff and is down into turn 1 and 2, still not pitted, lap 22 of 24. So when will the leaders call it? They've got to pit before lap 24, so they've got to pit either this time or next time round. So let's see here then when these guys will pit. Andy's done a fantastic job. He's also kind of settled down after the pit stops. Not really anything to talk about. We've seen little battles here and there, but we've not seen the fights we saw early on. John Boy's getting close to Unorthodox. Andy's staying out, so has to pit next time around, does Andy. Unorthodox and John Boy was within a second of each other there. The little warning signs popped up to say that it was close together. So John Boy getting close. That gap between John Boy and Andy's 36 seconds. Which has pretty much stayed as it was, in all fairness. So top job from John Boy and Andy for keeping that gap. Good pace from both of them. Unorthodox now in the pits, lap 22. So John Boy will be released now to chase Andy down. 2 laps to go. Andy still to pit. Does the Amazing Pie Boy and Gary 131 jump on Unorthodox, or has Unorthodox done enough to gain enough time from them? So let's keep an eye on Unorthodox. He's just coming to the pit marker now. It's a long pit entry, this really long pit entry. Strange to see Spliffmaster gaining on the back of Charlie Goff down for P11, but the thing we're looking at the minute is where is Amazing Pie Boy? Penultimate corner. So he should really have Unorthodox in his back pocket. Gary coming up to the penultimate corner. So this is going to be fascinating. Has Unorthodox done enough? Amazing Pie Boy's coming now. He's about to lap DJ Phil in the meantime as well. Unorthodox is away. Where's Gary? Just coming around the final corner. Can he get it on the power? And away now goes Gary. But I think Unorthodox has done enough. I think he's out the pit lane. I believe, yes, DJ Phil has gone deep then, so Amazing Pie Boy has done it. Andy is in the pits, and there's Unorthodox. Gary's not even at the braking zone, so Unorthodox has jumped Gary 131. Now the one to watch, as Andy comes into the pits on lap 23, is can John Boy gain on Andy, or is Andy done it again? He's the master of going long. And has he gone long enough to beat John Boy here? The gap was a second pretty much when John Boy pitted. So down the start straight, Andy is away now. Someone was down the start straight. That was a back marker. Out the final corner comes John Boy. So this one is going to be a lot closer here. So many penalties, says G. Definitely. Only Gary, John Boy and X-Mart who hasn't got a penalty. Andy's off the pit limiter then. And where is John Boy? Just coming into turn 1 and 2. We'll watch for Andy to come out. There was Andy, just a flash across the screen. Has the time penalty though, and the gap is 2.5. We don't know the penalties at the moment, so Andy now has it all to do. He's flashing that. Savo Alfonso who's getting flashed from Andy. Andy will know what penalty he's got and knows the gap to John Boy. Is it enough for John Boy to take the win then on the final lap of this race? Has John Boy just done enough to get a win? Or is Andy going to have pulled it off again and got a win with a long pit stop? Loves a long pit stop, does Andy. And is he going to get a win with it as well? Andy on the power, down the back straight he goes. That's Avo Alfonso just behind him. On the power is Andy, gap down under 2 seconds. I think John Boy's in for a win here. I do. I think John Boy's in for his first win at the last corner now though, and Andy comes around the final corner here. He's got Avo Alfonso in front of John Boy, and it's Andy who wins on road, but John Boy's going to take the win on penalties. So John Boy first, Andy second. Has Amazing Pie Boy done enough to hold off Unorthodox? That gap's 1.1, but they both have time penalties here. So has the Amazing Pie Boy outdone Unorthodox? And let's wait and see. Cracking battle from these guys. Oh my, all great driving from Unorthodox. Was involved in a start line crash and ended up finishing P4 at the minute, depending on time penalties. Could be P3 and on the podium. Amazing Pie Boy then finishes third. Unorthodox will get fourth. Gary 131 is going to come home for fifth. So not a bad results tonight for Gary 131. I'm sure he'll be pleased that he turned up. Flash of the lights from Gary 131, and he will take a P5. X-Mart's going to come home for a P6. Been a lot of X-Mart fans in the chat tonight. Your boys come home for P6, so good job from X-Mart then. Emo Guy was close to X-Mart, a couple more laps, he'd have probably had X-Mart as well. And he takes P7. Lotto will come home for 8th. Fury will be the last man to finish here. So Charlie Goff's got 10th, Spliffmaster 11th, Avo Alfonso 12th, DJ Phil 13th, Smokey Devil 14th, and Fury will be the last man to finish here. And Fury will finish P9, so a good race all in all. John Boy takes the feature race win, with Andrew second with a 6-second penalty. That's how much it cost him at the end. Lost out by 4 seconds. Amazing Pie Boy takes P3 with an Unorthodox fourth. Gary 131 fifth. Cracking racing here at Oschersleben A course. Again, sorry if I've mispronounced that name. But either way, it's been a pleasure to have everybody here. 20 likes in the end on the channel. So thank you all for tuning in. And thanks for all liking this video. Top job from all the drivers tonight, from all of us here at Motive Racing. Thanks for tuning in. Join us tomorrow night for GTEs, in which Andy will take you through the commentary on that one. I'll be back on the Motive channel on Tuesday night for the Renault Clears. But from all of us here at Motive, take care. Good night.